There we go. Hey there, all. Welcome to the alphabet game. I'm Dr. Brenda, and my co-host and good friend.
Hello, Janine McJannet here. The alphabet game we are in.
All right. Well, yeah, we're to the letter K. So I am in, I have to tell you where I am. So, yep, I'm a sociologist, financial coach, speaker, and a full-time RVer. We're laughing because speaker is the new thing, and I keep forgetting to say it. I am in Southern California for, well, I don't know, for quite a while. It depends on how you define Southern versus Central versus Northern California. But
listen, you're just in California.
I am in California, and it is cold. It is cold. So I've got my heater on. I have my thermal underwear on, and it was in the 30s overnight. And it's like, okay, come on, California, let's warm up a bit. So yeah, so here we are, and you are coming from the land of sunshine right now.
I am coming from the land of sunshine, but not of as much warmth. But I'm coming from the Yukon. Janine McJannet here. I'm a hypnotherapist, certified RTT therapist, and I am an empowerment and play coach. And we're minus degrees here. It doesn't matter. We're freezing, below freezing, because I know that we're different places, different spaces, but I can feel a good warmth in the air.
Okay, well, shall we dig right in?
Okay. K,
okay,
let's do it.
K is a tough letter. They're just like, I can't find any really good words, but you ready to go deep this morning?
I'm always ready to go deep. That's what I love to do the best in my life. And I don't know, but I never look up words. I just they come naturally, right? So let's just see what kind of cool words come up when we look at K,
Well, no, I've got, okay, my word is key. Key unlocks a lot of things. What do you think, Janine McJannet, is the key to life?
Okay, this is good because key actually did come up in my mind too, and I use that word a lot. What is the key? What's the question that you posed?
What is the key to life?
Well, I'm gonna answer it this way. The key that unlocks life to its fullest is curiosity. That is the key that you put into the lock that opens the doors of awareness. And on the other side, you're greeted with the good, the bad, the ugly, the sad, the strong, the weak, the tears, the joy. And you get to mingle and greet with all these parts of you just because you had the curiosity to go in there. And when you do, healing is profound.
Well, that's fascinating.
Thank you. What about you? What is the key to life for you?
Well, I'm a little blurry here. Am I blurry on your side too?
Just come a little bit closer. Do this kind of thing.
No, I'm having some issues here. The key to life is doing what your heart tells you should be doing. We spend so much time giving. Now I'm clear. I am clear today. We do so much. We do so much time giving excuses, providing reasons why we can't, talking about things. But to me, when I look at just my life and sort of taking those risks, the key is in doing. So I talk about like dream, plan, save, do. You can have a dream, you make a plan, you save. And what stops people is the doing part. That's the scary part. That's where you have to have courage. Doing. The key is doing.
You have to have curiosity to make the doing happen, and you have to be doing to make the curiosity. See how we just we became into this little kindred group, kindred thought right there.
Kindred. That's an interesting word. I used that word yesterday on LinkedIn. connected with a speaker whose work was similar to mine. I kind of admire her work, so I connected with her, and turns out she's also an RVer. And I'm like, I thought we might be kindred spirits based on your book cover.
Yeah.
She's hiking, in the great outdoors on the book cover. And I'm like, you know, and that brings up like just reaching out,
Connection.
reach out to strangers. It's part of what we have to do as a business. And just like, you know what? We have to, some people might reject us, and some people might be curious enough to see, why did this person connect with me?
Kindred.
Those are lots of C words, but
It's still a hard C. A hard C is like a K.
You and I are kindred spirits.
Kindred souls, kindred spirits. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
why do you think that is?
Because we have vulnerability. We have shared vulnerability. And you may remember when we first met, and when you first meet other people, there's a little bit of holding back. There's a little bit of maybe I don't trust. There's a little bit of I don't want to judgment going on for yourself and for others. But when you start to open that door of awareness with the key of curiosity, when you start to do that, then it's just like, oh, it's okay. I'm not alone in this world. And we have so much in common. You and I do, right? We do and we don't. And I love that. So how can you create kindred spirits or kindred souls? You have to go out and connect with others, right? You have to open the doors. You have to turn the tap on for vulnerability and let some of yourself out, and from past experiences, from past trauma, whatever it is, people want to hold and secure and hide, put the masks on, put the shields on, that imposter syndrome thing. And I've got my act together, when in fact, I don't think anyone does.
Yeah, I think I can't have these conversations with most people. Most people are very superficial, and you talk about the weather and what you did last week and what you had for breakfast.
Yeah.
But getting this deep into these conversations, it's a treat to be able to chat with you.
Yeah. And
it's it's always a little bit like, oh, what are we going to get into now? What am I going to disclose now? Now what's going to happen? There's always, because we feel this is a safe environment, right? Safety. I trust you. You trust me. I think we both see the world with curiosity, but also there's this yearning to get back to more simpler times, to sort of uncomplicate those things, to not let the rules that we played by dictate our futures.
Yeah. So in a sense, and in essence, the world is like a kaleidoscope. We have all these different areas, right?
You worked really hard to get that in.
No, I didn't work hard. It just came naturally. But it is. And we see things differently through different glasses. If you and I were sitting together, and one day we will be in life, and I have my glasses down and you pick them up and you go, oh my gosh, you must be blind, and put them down. It's like, that's because they're my glasses and I see clearly. I see clarity through it. And to you, it may be all muffy. And that's the thing that we do to be able to build kindred spirit, kindred relationships. We have to keep our glasses on and be vulnerable and not try other people's on. And that's the kaleidoscope of life. If you put them on, it's going to be blurry and twizzy and twirly, that whole thing of comparisonitis that comes in to our lives. It's just like, own yourself, be yourself, put your glasses on, stand tall. I went out to dinner last night and I felt good. I went to the bathroom, I had a beautiful salad, and I came out and I was walking through the restaurant like this. Hang on. I was just like, I was owning my walk, I came in and sat down at the table. There was about 6 of us, and my husband said, I loved the way you walked. I didn't think of it, but I felt it. And his friend, who was his birthday, is like, yeah, you just walked like you owned it. And I'm like, that's good. I feel like I'm owning more, with the knowledge and all the kerfuffle that goes around in this world. How can we come back home and just own what we have in the kaleidoscope of life?
Yeah, it's funny because for much of our lives, I mean, especially in teenage years and our younger years, we're so self-conscious. We're so concerned with what other people will judge. So, my kid is now 25, and if we were someplace together, and this still happens now, I embarrass the hell out of her because there's music and I'm just going with the music. I'm getting up and dancing, I'm doing whatever, and she's just like, "Oh, mom," and it's funny, but it's like we have to learn how to grow into ourselves and just be able to express ourselves without having that little voice in our head saying, well, that's not proper to do. People are going to look at you like you're a goofball. I am a goofball. Let me own it.
Yeah. And while we're doing that, I think that the core element that we have to take into consideration is to be kind-hearted towards ourselves and towards others. That's like, it seems to be the real trunk of this tree of life that we're living, is just to be kind to ourselves. Yeah, we fail. Yeah, oops. Yeah, can we swear on this? Did we swear before?
I did once.
You did, so I get one. And I
Yeah.
we fail and we fuck up in life. And that's part of it. Let's be kind to ourselves and learn a lesson from that. Let's be really keen with those glasses on.
So I've got a question for you. What do you think? Because I know you work with like people pleasers a lot, right? So what do you think is the difference between kindness and being nice? Are there two different things? And how does an overabundance of maybe being nice, I want to be nice, so I'm going to please people, versus I'm just going to be kind? What do you think?
Good question. I can't wait to get your response either, but nice. I very much dislike that word. It has no guts to it. It has no roots to it. It's a word that is like slushy mush. How are you doing? Oh, it's a nice day out. I'm feeling nice. You look nice. It's like, come on, let's be a little more specific with what nice means. So in terms of kind and nice, there's healthy and unhealthy aspects to it. In terms of people pleasing, you can be kind and you can be nice. If it's not authentic, then what's going on? You're doing it for someone else. You're wanting somebody else's approval. So being nice just for the sake of being nice, or being kind just for the sake of being kind, it doesn't work if you're not doing it from a place of authenticity. Being kind, I think, going back to the question, is more genuine of a word than being nice. Being kind has to come, like you can't really pretend to be kind. That's not what the word means, right? Being kind means you mean to be kind. That's what I think, it's a little bit of a kibosh around all that stuff, but what do you think?
Well, I kind of have that same feeling of nice. I don't want to be known as nice. It does feel like then maybe I'm abandoning my own feelings and
Yeah.
self-worth to be nice.
Be
And
badass.
what's the quote, like, no, what's the the women in history, they're oh, I mean, not, yeah, I can't remember what that quote is, but it's like, it's not, women who make history are not
Right.
nice,
No, yeah, I've seen
and
that.
and so it's like, kick ass. I kind of like that, because it's like, you know what, I'm just going to be authentic and be myself, and do this. But I also believe that, said something earlier, kindness to yourself. I think when you are kind to yourself, you begin to empathize with others, and you can be genuinely kind to strangers, to other folks.
Yeah.
And there is that big difference. If you don't like yourself, it's hard to be really kind.
It is. And you can see that all over the place. When people are bullies, when people talk gossip and shit about everyone else, they're not being kind to themselves. And what is being kind to yourself? It's loving yourself. It's trusting yourself. It's looking after yourself. If you don't do these things, then there's going to be some sort of resentment, and potentially towards other people, right? Oh, And that's where the negative stuff comes out. And I've learned that through bullying. People who bully, they don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, I can't wait to, treat somebody really bad today. It's their own stuff that comes out. So if they see something that triggers them, and you do this like in social media all the time, it's like this animosity will come out. That's not kind. Whereas if you do the work inside and you learn to love yourselves, your faults and your good things, all of the bits and pieces and parts that you find when you go in through that door of awareness, that's where you can just learn, okay, everyone's human. Everyone is doing, right? Back to doing, everyone is doing what they're expected to be doing at this time based on their experience and based on their conditioning. And we always have a choice to change that, but that's the awareness. That's why we need that, both of those aspects.
You use the word resentment.
Mm.
And I'm wondering, like, if folks who are into people pleasing, being nice all the time, if there isn't some underlying resentment that drives some of that, and then whether there's a day when that resentment just explodes and it's like, boom, I can't continue this. What do you think?
Absolutely. Resentment. So why do people pleasers please people? Right? There's the healthy and the unhealthy. Of course, we want to help people. We want to be kind, genuine. That's good. And that's dandy and that's healthy. But if we want to, move into that, I'm going to do something for you. And in return, I expect this. So then we get into expectations. And guess what? When expectations aren't met, resentment builds in. And when you have a fear of confrontation, then it just sort of piles down and you stuff down until, boom, boom. It's just like a pressure tank. You keep on putting in until one day it just blows up. And how is it going to blow up? It's going to blow up in resentment and anger, frustration. That's where the whole trauma response, fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and flop come in. The fifth one I didn't even know existed until a month or so ago. Flopping is just like complete surrender. So yeah, absolutely, it will blow up. And this is the piece that took me a long time as a recovering people pleaser, as a who I am right now, is that people pleasers who please people on the unhealthy spectrum, it is a tongue twister, do so in a unconsciously manipulative way because they expect something back. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when they don't get it, then that's where the resentment comes in.
Mm-hmm. And that manipulation, that and maybe it feeds into their sense of or lack of self-worth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you got another K word?
I grew up in Australia.
Kangaroo.
And I wanted to there's kangaroos, there's koalas, and there's kookaburras. And I want to share some of my skill and talent with you now.
Oh, I can't wait.
I know. I love birds. I live up in the north in the Yukon in Canada, and there's a lot of ravens, big black ravens up here. They call them crows down south, but they're huge up here.
Nope, they're too different.
And in Australia, the kookaburra is it's there all the time, and they are of the kingfisher family. And I connect. I really connect with birds. I talk to ravens up here, and I talk to kookaburras down there. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of my kookaburra language. Just let me lubricate my throat.
I wish you had a picture. I've got to look to see what these birds look like.
They're like a small kingfisher with the same kind of beak, stocky. Okay. You're kind of like a kookaburra.
My hair is like a kookaburra. I got bird hair.
So it's a kookaburra. And the kookaburra, the sound of a kookaburra, to me, I didn't realize it till later, but I'm going to keep that a secret, and I'm just going to share with you. I hope it goes okay. Okay? You ready?
Ready. Oh, we're losing you. Oh. You got to do a close, whatever range you're in, the microphone is not picking it up.
Wow.
Try it again.
Okay, maybe
I'll do the microphone.
I'll do a solo kookaburra. Hey, whew, let me do it again now. Ooh. No?
It just picks up the lower ones, and when you go higher, the microphone is not picking it up.
Okay, I'm going to do it in slow motion. Ooh, 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 ah, 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 oh, ooh. It doesn't have the
Okay,
same effect.
there we go. Yeah, it doesn't a weird microphone. Well, that's okay. Cool. Cool. Kangaroo next. What does a kangaroo sound like?
You don't know? It goes,
No, I don't know. I can't hear that either. Maybe it's me.
oh, that's interesting. It's like
A clicking?
yeah.
Maybe I can't hear that range of sound because it's not picking up.
Okay, well, if anybody can hear it, let me know. And if you can't, then maybe it's just like the Australian thing. And we know that koalas don't really say much because they just get stoned on gum leaves and hanging trees all the time.
All right. I think we are just about done. You want to mention what do you got? What do you got?
I want you to tell me the role of knowledge in your life and how it's brought you to where you are. That's just the last K word that I could think of, knowledge. It's such an important part of our growth.
I was a sociologist at the age of 12. And the whole heart of what I learned in college and why I ended up getting my PhD is because I love research. Research allows me to form a hypothesis, ask a question, create scientific methods for getting the data, analyzing the data, massaging it and putting it into this beautiful results. That is knowledge. So it kind of tears me apart these days where people equate their opinion with science. Don't do it. You know, we are living in an anti-knowledge era where people are just throwing out garbage and people are picking it up and not understanding how real science, how real knowledge is derived. So you kind of picked a little pet peeve with me because it just burns me. It's like, don't put these messages forward that are false and very often damaging, and painting a picture of a world or society that is black and white, right and wrong, when you don't have the science to prove behind it. You know, the earth is flat. Oh, well, hey, we got science. The earth is round. The sun revolves around the earth revolves around the sun. I mean, you have these huge changes in science, and you can't just abandon that and ignore it and create your own knowledge which is not based on facts. So yeah, that's a big one for me. That's huge.
Yeah.
It is the crux of who I am, the pursuit of knowledge, the pursuit of science, the rigor of research.
Oh, what you just said was amazing. And I think you need to go back there and collect it because there was passion all through it.
It is,
Yeah.
it is a, you know, it is, I do have a PhD and I am called Dr. Brenda. And it's like, you know, some places are like, well, you know what? You should just take the doctor off. You're just Brenda. And it's like, yeah, I am to you personally, but the doctor represents all that I worked for to get the skills and the expertise. So education is the one thing nobody can take away from us.
It represents the knowledge. That's what the doctor does as well.
Well, it's, yeah. And, you know, growing up on a farm, working my way up to what I have accomplished and to earn that degree means something. It doesn't come out of a Cracker Jack box.
And as you were talking, I thought, you know, I hear a lot of things, you know, the integration of science and spirituality. And I think that's what you and I are.
The
To
yin
a
and the
certain
yang.
degree. We're integrating, and we're we're a kaleidoscope in our own sense. We're bringing spirituality and science into the world, and we're bringing them together for what? To help others, to help ourselves find freedom, to find joy in our lives.
Well, that is a very good note to end on. You want to tell folks what you're up to and how they can connect?
You can connect with me anytime. I am offering discounted hypnotherapy sessions as a rapid transformational therapist, and they're amazing. So connect with me if you want to jump on an exploration call or know more about it. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I'm super stoked because that video, I've got a video called The Joy of Simple Living, and my videographer friend made it just last weekend here at the campground. And it is so cool. I'm going to add
It's
the link.
stunning.
So
Yeah.
she's just blended things in, and I told her I'm very glad you got the cat walking on the leash in there. So anyway, I've got that, and I am really, really stoked because this is my first week in the speaker lab, and this is a big investment in my future, and it feels right, and the resources are there, and I am just diving in. I am totally diving in. So some of what I'm doing is kind of on hiatus because I'm branching into this new area and being kind to myself by not overloading myself so I can focus on this. Woof.
Yeah. Woo!
All right, guys,
Woo!
thank you so
Shake
much
it up,
for being
girl.
with
Shake it
me.
up.
All right, guys, that's it from the RV and from the Yukon.
From the Yukon and
We'll
the
see you
RV.
guys. HIJKL is next. Oh, I hope it's not a lemon.
It could be a
Yeah.
lime. Okay, ciao,
Bye.
ciao. Bye.